a judicial review hearing in lieu of a citizens review panel permanency review. Hearing being conducted virtually over the internet using Zoom.
We don't have a guardian, Your Honor. We don't have Ms. Crane's client nor Ms. Battle.
Well, I've got somebody named Zavi Banga in the waiting room. Who is that?
That's my baby father.
Mr. Murray.
When did he change his name?
I believe that's just his name listed on his Zoom account, Bartles.
No, I've never seen that, or I don't remember seeing it. I didn't write it anywhere in the file. All right. Mr. Murray, I need a live camera on you. I'm putting you back in the waiting room. All right. The mother, Tatiana Brown, is here. Her attorney, Ms. Evans Battle, is not here. Mr. Murray was here, but did not respond to my request that he turn on his camera. So he's back at, well, he's not on. He was in the waiting room. He's not there either. His lawyer, Ms. Crane, is here. Ms. Brownlee, the case manager, is here. The attorney for defects, Mr. Skowronek, is here. I don't know where Ms. Schrock is.
Your Honor, Ms. Schrock just sent an email to everyone requesting the link, and I forwarded that to her. She should be here soon.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. I guess it was something I wasn't pushing.
All right. Are you inside?
Yeah.
Don't say yeah to me, please. Say yes.
Yes, sir.
The reason I asked if you're inside is, do you need to wear sunglasses inside?
Oh no, I literally just walked in. I just got back from school. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Isaiah Murray has joined us, and now Ms. Evans Battle is in the waiting room, who is Mom's attorney. And did you let her in? Or she disappeared before I could click on her. I'm sorry?
She's still in waiting.
Okay, well, I must have, something happened. And Ms. Schrock joined us, the guardian ad litem. All right, like we've reviewed it approximately 6 months before, the attorney for defects is going to give me a summary of progress on the case plans since the last review. And then we'll hear from the case manager and the parties, and everybody will be available for questions from counsel. Go ahead, Mr. Skowronek.
So let me make sure I'm not muted. We were last in court on this case for permanency review on August 15th of 2023, Your Honor. At that time, the department had asked that the permanency plan for the mother be changed to concurrent plans of reunification, non-reunification, termination of parental rights. The court did not do that at that time. That is the permanency plan currently as to Mr. Murray. The mother's permanency plan as of the last review date was reunification. At the last review date, the department reported the mother had completed her parental fitness, psychological, substance abuse, and domestic violence assessment, that she was receiving counseling from Loving Helping Hands and in level 2 substance abuse treatment. She had a positive Delta 9 hair follicle screen on June 29th and a positive alcohol urine screen on July 18th. The mother was reportedly employed at that time at an adult entertainment establishment and had not provided any proof of that employment to the department. The mother had given birth to her youngest child in June of last year. And the mother was reported still not to be on her medication for depression and mood swings. As she reported to the department, she did not need them and that she was calm without medications. That's just to give us a summary of where we were at in August of last year. Ms. Brownlee has given me a court report, which is buried under here. Since the last court hearing, as to the mother, the department reports that she is continuing her individual therapy with Ms. Phillips. Ms. Phillips notes that Ms. Brown has been using coping skills to manage her everyday stress and gain better emotional awareness, and reported that Ms. Brown is looking to be applying for housing of her own. When we were last in court, just to refresh the court's recollection, back in November, Your Honor, when we had the motion to modify visitation, at that time, the mother was residing in a home with a gentleman identified as Terry, that she was kind of sort of subleasing from somebody. And that is where she is continuing to reside, even though that the person on that lease has indicated to the department in several instances that the mother could no longer reside there. She is still currently in that residence. Ms. Brown is currently participating in level 2 substance abuse treatment. The provider reports that she has been compliant with the treatment sessions. However, she is continuing to have issues with remaining drug-free and has admitted that she is using edibles to relax. And the mother understands that she needs to reframe using drugs or being high around the child. The mother has met with Ms. Brownlee on a monthly basis at her current residence, which, as I indicated, is still the residence that she was in back in November when we had the motion to modify. The mother reported that she was employed as of the court report. However, I received further information that the mother does not have any current paycheck stubs, that she will have to ask for a job, and that she has not worked in approximately a month. That Ms. Brownlee also reports that the mother has a medical appointment scheduled for February 23rd. And Ms. Brownlee, I'm assuming that's medical for mental health medications?
Yes, sir. She has an appointment at McIntosh Trail in order to talk to them about her medication.
Okay. Ms. Brown reported that she was reported to be looking for new employment and was unsure as to where she might be moving to or what job she might be getting. The apartment with Ms. Taylor, we've already talked about. Ms. Taylor has extended her stay there until March, but Ms. Brown has reported plans to move as soon as she finds new housing. The last drug screens that I have from Ms. Brownlee were a positive urine screen for THC on the 18th of December and another positive urine screen for THC on the 6th of January, and there is a February 6th screen that is still pending. There are 2 missed screens on January 25th of this year. The text with Ms. Brown from the provider, Ms. Brown reported she was unable to test at this time. And then there was another missed screen on January 23rd where the provider attempted to text Ms. Brown with no response. And the screener went out to the address of Ms. Brown and did not receive a response from going out to that address. As to Mr. Murray, he is currently participating in individual therapy and drug and alcohol classes with Phoenix Behavioral. He has secured housing with his sister, Ms. Ramsey, and submitted a lease to the department. The department has conducted a walkthrough and will submit the home evaluation for approval once all the drug screens and documentation has been received from the individuals residing in that home. Mr. Murray reports that he is employed, and I believe, Ms. Brownlee, you reported to me, correct me if I'm wrong, last week, you said he had given you paycheck stubs, correct?
Yes, he sent me one, not recent. He has not given me anything recent, but I do have one back from November and December.
So you haven't had one for January?
No, sir, but I also spoke to him and he said that he will provide them after the court hearing as well.
All right. Ms. Brownlee also reports as to the father. He meets with her on a monthly basis at the DFACS office. Mr. Murray has been compliant with drug screens. All of his drug screens have been negative. There's a pending hair follicle scheduled for this month. Visitation, Ms. Brown has visitation Tuesdays and Fridays unsupervised at her home. And if the court will recall, we had the restrictions about Terry having any contact with the child. Ms. Brownlee reported she's made a couple of pop-ups during the visits and has not had any issues with that individual being present during visitation between Ms. Brown and the child. She did miss a visit, and you've got 2/2/24. I'm assuming that should be 12/2/23.
No, it was February 2nd.
Okay, so it is February 2nd. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I do want to
There was a
say-
missed visit on February 2nd due to Ms. Brown having a death in the family. A missed visit with the child by Ms. Brown on January 23rd due to her doctor's appointment. And a missed visit on January 5th. Mr. Murray has had weekly visits supervised at the DFACS office. He missed 2 visits in December due to car trouble. Missed 2 visits on January 31st and a previous visit in December that were due to car trouble. And he has otherwise been consistent in meeting with the child. Christian is doing well in his current foster placement. He is in daycare, up to date on his medicals. And that's basically it as far as that. Let me just see if there were any other notes that I had in my notes. I don't believe so. The department does not currently, to my knowledge, Your Honor, intend to file for termination of parental rights. However, the department does continue to ask that the court make the permanency plan for Ms. Brown a concurrent plan of reunification, non-reunification, termination of parental rights. And this child has been in care since
4 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Brownlee, is all that true and correct?
Yes, sir, Judge Bartles. But I did want to add, I couldn't remember, Matias, if I clarified the appointment with Ms. Tatiana about her medication.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Did I send you the date? She gave me a date of the February 23rd, I believe it is.
That's what you've got in the text you sent me.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if I had sent you that.
Yeah.
And I also spoke to Mr. Murray. I didn't add into the court report that he is now reported to be in school. The name of the school is UEI. So I'm not sure what he's going for. He would have to attest to that, but I did not add that in the court report, and I just wanted to make sure I told you that.
So he's in
School
school.
and does that mean he's in school and not working, or doing both?
From my understanding, he will be doing both.
I guess we can ask him in a minute.
Yes, sir.
So what is the father's visitation schedule?
He visits currently on Wednesdays from 12 to 2. He is asking for unsupervised, and he provided the letter that you requested from last time as well.
Do you have it handy where I can see it? Because I haven't seen anything that I've been requesting for several months.
Okay, I do have it. I sent it to his lawyer as well, but I can pull it up, or do you want me to send it to the clerk?
If you can you put it on the screen now?
I believe so. Give me a minute.
Let me ask you this. He was supposed to get us a copy of the complete sentence out of Clayton County. All I saw was 1 page of probation conditions. Did you get the whole sentence?
I believe so, Judge Bartles. And Isaiah, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that is what he sent me last time at the court hearing, I believe, and I forwarded it to everybody. But I can pull everything up that I have right now, and you can see if that's everything.
Okay.
All right, give me a few minutes. I'm gonna turn my camera off.
Do you have, I can't control it, so you must have to change the,
You trying to go down or over?
well, there was something, I don't know whether you went up or down, but there was something different on my screen when I first looked, and when I came
Oh,
back. something-
Okay, yeah. So I did go down a little
Oh,
bit.
that was just the
Okay.
letterhead, so you're fine. So go down.
Okay.
I read what was in that letter. I wanted to see if you had the sentence.
Okay, so the sentence, now I'm gonna have to go back. Hold on.
Well, that's not the same document.
Right, no, this is something
Okay.
different.
That's
This is what you asked for from the last court hearing, because he told you that he was in there's some type of program that Clayton County told him to do.
Uh-huh. Good.
Isaiah, can you unmute? Did you provide me the full sentence? Would that be in that last email that you sent me, or another email?
I'm not sure about the email, but I personally went down to the defense office and handed it to a lady that works there, and she printed out a copy and she printed a copy and kept the original copy.
Ms. Crane, he also submitted those documents. Were they submitted last time, Ms. Crane, or you don't know?
So, you mean, were they submitted to me?
Correct.
Well, I don't think I have anything additional other than what I had already submitted, which I was told was not complete. I haven't received anything new.
I'm checking our bars. I'm gonna pull up what I have.
No, ma'am, I haven't received anything since October of 2023.
Mr. Murray, when you say you dropped off a copy, she made a copy and gave you one back, do you still have your copy?
Hello?
Do you still have your copy? You said the
Yeah,
lady
yes,
made a
I do.
copy.
I'm grabbing it right now. Give me one
Okay.
second.
Let's see if you're as talented as Ms. Brownlee and able to put it up on the screen. I would not have a clue how to do that. A few minutes ago, the clerk told me that the foster parents were in the waiting room, and I think they're in the hearing now. Mr. Larry, hey.
Mr. Murray, I would need for you to provide it because the only thing I have that I'm finding is just that one, like where it's the bond conditions. So just let me know if you're able to find it.
Okay. I'm going through my files right now. I'm gonna have to reach out to my mother and see if she must have put it up somewhere in her house.
Okay.
But
See,
I
if
know
you're still looking, you can look. I just was going to go ahead and let the lawyers ask questions while you're still looking.
okay,
Because I've got another hearing in a few minutes. But don't give up on finding it because we need to see it.
okay. I don't know where to start looking. I looked at all my.
Well, you may not be able to find it between the time we finish this hearing, but just find it and get it to us.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Ms. Crane, you have any questions for Ms. Brownlee?
Yes, Ms. Brownlee, at this time, does the department have any objection to the father transitioning to unsupervised visitation?
No, not at this time. We do not.
It's the only question I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Schrock?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Evans-Battle?
Yes, sir. Ms. Brownlee, you indicated that the drug screener was not able to screen her on January the 23rd. But at the same time, you are aware that she was at a doctor's visit. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. And that's what I reported as well, that she told me she was at a doctor's appointment.
Okay. And did I just hear you say that you had a document of bond conditions for Mr. Murray?
Yes, I found one back. I can't remember the month that it was sent, but I can forward it to you.
Okay. And would you, and as part of those conditions, when did you get them?
I'm unsure. I can go back and check.
We've had them for several months because I've been asking for the rest of the sentence.
Yes,
and all we had was that one page.
Yes.
We didn't have
it was
Judge,
the email that I have it on, it had everybody on it. It has all of the attorneys. And this has been addressed multiple times.
I haven't seen a document with actual bond conditions. I've seen probation
I
conditions.
think it was probation conditions, Ms. Evans Battle. I don't
So
think,
that's why I was trying to clarify with her.
we did have discussions about the initial bond conditions, but they generally merge or go by the wayside once a sentence is imposed. But
Yes, sir. But the whole issue had been whether or not he provided, whether or not he was to have had contact with the child during the course of those bond conditions. It was also an issue because of the legitimation. As it were, he indicated that he was charged with simple battery, that
that's
he
why I
was
wanted
not,
the indictment and the plea, because I couldn't tell what he had
Right.
to be sentenced for.
right, but he was sentenced for an aggravated assault.
Well, nobody ever showed me the document to show that, but that's why I told you I wasn't going to do anything till I saw the document. And I've been waiting months.
Okay, but please send me a copy of the bond conditions because I've never received those and the court hasn't, as far as I know, because the court never addressed
I thought
the
what we received was
discrepancy.
one page out of his sentence, but it was not his entire sentence. And it appeared to me if I remember correctly, that it was special conditions of probation. But
Correct.
it was not his full sentence. It didn't tell me what he was convicted of or pled guilty to. And
Okay. Ms. Brownlee, do you now have a copy of Ms. Brown's pay stubs? Did she submit that to you right before court or during the court hearing?
No, ma'am. What Ms. Brown submitted was a screenshot showing a deposit into an account. And me and her had a conversation and I told her that we need an actual pay stub. And I told her how to get those. She then sent me a W-2 and I told her that we do not need a W-2. And I told her to contact the temp agency to request an actual pay stub.
Okay. All right. So now you're saying you're not going to accept her because the deposits don't show where they're coming from.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that why you're not accepting that?
Yes, ma'am. It
Okay.
has to be a pay stub.
All right. Well, I know a lot of jobs don't do pay stubs anymore, but
no, it's
all
not
right
that I'm
then.
not accepting it. It's fine. It shows her income. It's just that on the case plan, we request pay stubs. And I told her how to get them. I'm sure that I've dealt with temp agencies. All she has to do is call them and they will send her a copy via email. And if she needs,
All right.
if she know her, she can reach out to me and I'll help her.
All right, then great. Thank you. And so if she were to, you said that you've been able to pop in on her and you haven't found any issues regarding her allowing contact with Mr. Terry, correct?
That is correct. So let me clarify that I have made visits to the home and I have not seen Mr. Terry there. And I will say that the visits that she has completed have not taken place in the home.
Can I find this shit?
Mr.
Beg
Murray,
your pardon?
mute your phone.
who did,
Murray.
Mr. Murray, you're excused from the hearing. You're not going to talk like that in our hearing. Bye.
Okay, can I start with Judge Bartles?
I apologize, Judge. I got frustrated looking for the files. I thought I was on mute. I'm so sorry.
If you do that again, your history in this
Yes,
hearing,
sir. I understand.
you know better. You've been in almost as many hearings as I have.
I thought I was on mute. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Brownlee. You apologize to her. She's the one you interrupted.
I'm sorry, Miss Brownlee. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. Miss Battle, I was saying that that is correct. I have not observed Terry, or no reports have been made that Terry has been there doing any of the visits. But I have not been able to do any recent pop-ups due to the missed visits. I will say that. But I have not seen Terry visit with the child or around the child.
Considering her complying with the orders, would you be opposed, or the department opposed to allowing her to have one overnight one overnight visit in addition to her other visits that she has?
Not at this time, not, with her staying in their current residence, the department is still not comfortable. Also would like to add, even though I did not observe Terry in the home when I last went there, I did observe his children in the home. I'm not sure if they're living in the home, but they were present when I was there. And I've had a conversation with Ms. Brown as to why we are not comfortable, and I told her that reason. As to, we know that he frequents the home, and since he still has not agreed to complete any of our screens, we are still not comfortable with Shakrisha doing overnight in that home.
Okay. Now the home is, even though, I forget the lady's name now, Miss Jasmine is allowing her to live there. Are you aware of their relationship between Miss Brown and Miss Jasmine as far as, watching the children? They both have children by Mr. Terry.
I'm not aware of that. I don't know what their relationship is. I just know that Miss Jasmine is allowing Tatiana and Terry to live in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing that me and Miss Brown discussed, she said that she had given them until March to live in the home. And so I'm not sure who them is, but she did say that Miss Taylor said that they could reside in their home until March.
Right. And them could just be Miss Brown and the other child that she has, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And that's all I have for you at this particular time.
All right. Did you have questions for your client?
Yes.
Go ahead and put her up, and then we'll have anybody else have questions, ask her too.
Okay. I can't remember if you swore them in.
I did. I sworn everybody in, except the foster parents came in late.
All right. Thank you, Judge. I apologize. I'm on leave, and I had a hard time finding the link today. If you will, Miss Brown, can you tell us where you're working? Miss Brown?
Fresh Express. I'm working through a temp service called Surge and reside at Fresh Express warehouse.
Okay. And how long have you been working there?
My last day there was actually February 1st. Due to the incident that happened with my sister passing away.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm not familiar with any of that, so I don't know. How did you lose your job because your sister died?
No, I didn't lose my job. I talked to my manager, and she was okay with me going on leave to help with the funeral costs and getting her buried and stuff. We plan on burying her February 25th. I think that's what the date was. And my only request is if my son can attend it with me.
Okay, so you're asking if the court or the department would allow him to attend the funeral services for you or his
Yes,
aunt.
ma'am.
Okay. Also, can you tell us what is the timeline for you to move?
I actually seen a letter in the door. It said March 31st, but from what me and Miss Brownlee was discussing, she sent me a text saying I needed to be out before March the 1st for her to clean out and make sure the apartment is vacant.
Okay. And so what are your plans to move?
As far as now, I've already paid for a deposit, and I'm also waiting to get paid Friday to pay for another security deposit. I've been paying stuff. I'm just waiting to be accepted to even move at this point.
Okay. All right then. So if the court allows for you to have an overnight visit with your son, how would that take place?
Here, movie and a popcorn.
I'm sorry?
I said home, movie and a popcorn.
Okay. So you would at the current residence that you're in, that the visit would take place there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If the court does not allow the overnight visits, are you asking for an extension of your visitation that you currently have?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what currently are the usual time periods?
From 9 to 4.
On
9
what
a.m.
day?
to 4 p.m. Every other day for Tuesday and then every Friday.
Okay. Every other Tuesday and every Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And as to visitation with Mr. Murray, I don't think the court's ever heard from you on that. Can you tell us if you have any concerns about him having unsupervised visitation?
As far as now, I'm just at the point to right now it is what it is.
Okay. Is there some conflict in his being unsupervised because of the incident occurred in which you were the victim and originally the child was named as a victim as well?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then. I think that's all I have at this time, Judge.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yes, Judge Bartle, I have a question for Ms. Brown.
I would object.
I think your lawyer needs to, if you want to confer with your lawyer, so the lawyer can direct questions, because you can't both direct questions to her.
Okay, Matthias. You're muted.
Send it to me in a quick text.
Yes, I sure will.
That'll be quicker than going into a breakout session. Or I can log out and you can just handle the case from here on if you'd like.
No,
We'll
thank
appoint you.
No, I
Just be
cannot.
sure you stop his bill running as of that minute.
Thank you. Exactly. We can do that.
I'm not on mute.
I think it'd been easier to let her ask the question. Okay.
Well, it came in like 6 different things, Your Honor. So, Ms. Brown, did you have a conversation with Ms. Brownlee previously where you told her that you were fine with Christian visiting with Mr. Murray and that you wanted Christian to stay with Mr. Murray and his sister?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. And that you've also had frequent contact between yourself and Mr. Murray?
I never said that, but
All
there's
right.
contact between me and his mother and his sister.
Okay. Have you had any contact with Mr. Murray in the last 6 months?
No.
How many times have you contacted or had contact with Mr. Murray in the last 6 months?
I just told you I didn't. I haven't.
Okay. You've not had any contact at all with Mr. Murray?
No.
All right. And just to be clear, you've never told Ms. Brownlee that you've had contact with Mr. Murray. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll address the rest of my questions to rebuttal with Ms. Brownlee in a second, but that's it.
Ms. Crane, did you have any questions for Ms. Brown?
No, Your Honor.
Just I cannot stand on the phone because I cannot see.
Ms. Battle, I think we can hear you.
She wants us to hear her.
No, because I was almost kicked out just then. I might have.
She wants us to feel her frustration.
Ms. Battle, did you have any other questions? Otherwise, I was going to put Ms. Brownlee up if Ms. Schrock and Ms. Crane apparently don't have any questions.
Did Ms. Crane have any
No, I
questions of her client?
The only question that I would have for my client regarding the information that the court has requested, Mr. Murray, when did you turn the complete documents in to the department?
The time we had the hearing.
Mr. Murray and Ms. Crane, while they were asking questions of the other parent, I found clipped into the back of the file the sentence. I think what I was looking for was the actual charges, which admittedly the charge involving the child as a purported victim was null pros as part of the plea negotiations, but I still wanted to know, cruelty to children in the third degree usually means that something happened between other people that the child witnessed, but I don't know that because I don't see the charge anywhere. And that was what I wanted to see. But somebody got us a copy of the petition, and I mean the sentence. So the fact that you gave us part of it at one time, either you or somebody got us a copy of the rest of the sentence. I don't know when it got in the file. It's not marked, stamped. We don't stamp in documents like we do pleadings. So, but I did. I'm sorry I interrupted you, Ms. Crane, but I thought that might ease.
Your Honor, just to follow up on that, I did send you his conditions of probation to you, Ms. Crane and Ms. Battle and Ms. Schrock just now to see. Apparently you have that, but I just sent it to you as well.
Okay, I'll look to see, but I don't have any reason.
I sent it to your email.
But I do.
And Judge,
Ms. Crane, I did want to ask your client a question about his condition.
And Judge, if the question the court has in its mind is about what happened, I've provided previously the department as well as the attorneys a copy of the police report when I located it after the legitimation took place. And if that is something that the court is interested in, I can, of course, forward it to the court.
Trying to find my email. Well, you sent me a whole 5 things. Which one of them is or is it 5 pages each? You copied them separate?
Ms. Brownlee sent them to me, Your Honor, as 5 separate emails, so that's the way I couldn't consolidate.
The sentence actually has 6 pages, at least mine, I think. Let me make sure. No, it was 5 pages, so I've got the same thing, I'm sure. Ms. Crane, you want to fish? And then I had a question for your client. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Well, Your Honor, can you clarify, is the court still missing the information that they need? Or
I still wanted to see the specific facts alleged in count, I guess it was count 5. Let me make sure I'm speaking. Yeah, count 5, which ended up being null pros as part of plea negotiations, which was the cruelty to children in the third degree. And that's why I asked for a copy of the bill of indictment so I could see what he was accused of. I realize he didn't plead guilty to that, but it may be in the police report that she says she has, but
Mr. Murray, is that the document that you turned in to the department? Indictment?
The plea, when I went to court in August, the same day I think it was the hearing before last, the one we had in August. I went down there the straight day after we got out of Zoom court, and I went down to the defects office and I gave it to a worker there, and she printed out a copy, kept the original copy with the Clayton County seal on it, and I kept the other copy. For some reason, I can't find this copy, but I know that I went down to defects and gave it to him. The whole 5 pages or 6 pages.
Sounds like he took down the sentence.
Right.
That's 5 pages.
Right. That's what you have in the file, right, Judge Bartles?
Yes.
Your Honor, what do you have as a case number on that documentation? Is it 3124?
Well, I'll be glad to answer that as soon as I find a number on it. I hadn't found one yet.
All right, so
hold on a second. Here it is. 3124-14.
All right, I'm trying to see if it will let me.
So, Your Honor, to clear, I guess I am now very confused. Do you specifically want the bill of indictment? If he goes and tells someone that, then that's what you want?
Well, when we were here the first time, I wrote an email that specified all the things that I needed that was, and I think that's the only thing I don't have that I originally requested. But
Ms.
I
Ms.
appreciate the
Crane,
effort he's made.
Judge, I might be able to actually resolve this because I'm onto the Clayton County's website and I pulled his up and I can tell you what counts he pled and which were null crossed, if that'll help.
I know that from the sentence. I want to know what count 5 said.
Okay, so let me get back into that real quick here. So count 5 was cruelty to children.
In the 3rd degree.
You're right. That was apparently null crossed.
It was. I've got that. I want to know what it said
Count
did, even
one.
though he didn't plead to it.
Count 1 is assault, aggravated assault. 2 was false imprisonment. 3 terroristic threats.
4 was family violence battery.
And then cruelty to children.
Yes, that's right.
And then he pled and was sentenced on count 3 and count 4. So terroristic threats and battery family violence. And
he was sentenced on ag assault, terroristic threats, and family violence battery. But the terroristic threats and family violence battery were treated as misdemeanors and were merged into as far as they served concurrent with the 3 years on probation of the ag assault.
And yeah, it was 12 months probation concurrent with the other counts with special conditions. And that was August 8th of 2023.
Mm-hmm. But you can't access the bill of indictment to.
It won't let me pull up the specific document.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Mr. Murray, one of the conditions of your probation was to complete a family violence intervention program approved by your probation officer. Did you do that?
Yes, I joined the program, but they will not let me take both of the courses at once. I have to take a drug course and a family violence course. I already started the drug course, which I'm almost done doing, but they will not let me take both of the courses at once.
Right.
Okay.
Judge Bartles, and that's that letter that you read from earlier that I put on my screen.
Okay.
And I
wanted to make sure that you did that family violence intervention program, even though sometimes it takes a while to get it done. And they wouldn't let you take both at the same time?
No, Miss Angela, who is the counselor, said that they want to focus on one thing at a time with the I guess the patients.
Okay. I've not heard that, but I don't know that I had anybody that was ordered to do them both at the same time. So I didn't.
Another thing is she said it would have been expensive too.
Oh yeah,
I have to pay for it.
Program is not cheap. I doubt if either one of them is cheap, but I know that one's not. Any other questions for Mr. Murray?
The only other question I have, Mr. Murray, is there any way that you can go to the court and request a copy of the bill of indictment?
No problem. I can do that today.
Thank you.
Quick question from me, Your Honor, for Mr. Murray, if Ms. Crane is done.
I have no further question.
Mr. Murray, have you had any contact with the mother, Tatiana Brown, in the last 6 months?
No, I usually we deal with my mother. My mother talks to her, and that's how we kind of communicate, get things across to each other. We don't directly talk to each other.
So you've had contact, but it's been through a third party?
Yeah, my mother.
Okay. And are you, as part of your, I don't have your bond conditions or anything, are you prohibited from having any contact with Ms. Brown?
The Senate says he can't have any contact with her.
Okay.
Yes. But I was told by my mother that she wanted to file a motion to take the TPO off me. I don't know if that's true or not.
Is there a TPO in addition to the probation conditions? A lot of times people take a TPO out of in civil court and they have conditions in a probated sentence. Do you know if you have both? I've never seen any TPO pleadings, but that would be like a file for a suit for a divorce. A victim can sue asking for a protective order, a TPO, to order people to stay away from them and sometimes she can order people to get out of the house and different things. Did you receive one of those too?
Well, to my knowledge, I had one ever since I was out on bond. And then when I got sentenced, they told me that it's continued.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Yeah.
probably for sure had a condition of bond that to stay away from the victim, but the bond condition is not a TPO per se. That TPO would be something different done in Superior Court. But Ms. Brown, do you know if you went and filed Henry County has a family violence, domestic violence advocate's office in the Haven House. I don't know. I would think as big as Clayton County is, they have an advocate somewhere. Did you have an advocate assist you? You don't have to. Some people file them by themselves. Did you file for a temporary protective order under the Family Violence Act?
No, sir. I guess due to the fact that after the accident, the incident happened, due to me going to a shelter, I had the report of why I was coming there. So they made their own reports or whatever. And then a victim advocate lady did come out and speak to me, but I never spoke to her again after that.
She
And
never
then
had she file anything and take you to court?
Go in front
of the Superior Court judge.
And then after that, before he was sentenced, I came to court. The lady told me to come to court. And then she just said that they was requesting that me and him stay away from each other due to it being family violence. And then she said that he was gonna accept the plea deal, and that was all.
That sounds like the victim advocate with the district attorney's office, the prosecutor.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Not for the shelter, but anyway, that's okay. That makes sense. All right. Anything else I need to hear about? You foster parents have anything you want to add or tell me about? They had told me earlier, I don't think you had gotten here yet, that Christian was doing fine in y'all's home.
Yes, sir, he is.
Good. Anything you need to tell us about? Anybody have any questions for foster parents, Ms. Lowry?
No, sir.
Thank you again for taking care of Christian.
Well, I just want to add that they are amazing, and I thank them for always doing everything that they can for Christian and always being available when I ask them to be. And I also want to say good things for both Ms. Brown and Mr. Murray. I know it's been a long time coming for this case, and I want y'all to know that I do see the hard work that y'all done. I know it's a lot, but I don't want him to remain in foster care just like y'all don't. So let's just get it together, both of you, so we can go ahead and end this case. Thank you, Judge Bartles.
Yes, ma'am. All right, the court finds reasonable efforts are being made to facilitate permanency, that there's no material portion of the case plan that hasn't been implemented. I'm not aware of and haven't been established that any legally required services are not being provided to any of the parties. The case plan exists for both parents, remains in the best interest, and will leave them as they are currently couched. Visitation is appropriate, and I'm anxious, probably not as anxious as the parents, but I am anxious that we move to expand them. We don't have anybody, Christian's not quite eligible for independent living services, and the parents are making substantial progress. So you can include those findings as part of the order from the review hearing. Who supervises mom's visits again?
They're unsupervised, Judge.
For the day, that they don't have to be supervised by, how about Mr. Murray's? Is his being supervised by his sister?
No, right now they're being supervised by Carlo, who is the employee with defects. He has his at the office, but
Okay.
that's why he's asking for unsupervised.
Is your sister going to be there during those visits?
Yes, I've had a conversation with her, and she will be there. But Mr. Murray, have you asked her as well?
Well, I live with her.
No. But I know you said she
But
works.
she could be at work.
Right, she works, but I have her schedule, Judge Bartles, and she said she's willing to do it when I just gotta let her know ahead of time once, I told her if we got them approved or not, we would discuss it.
And she's also pregnant too, so she's about to get on leave soon. I think she's doing April. So she's not going nowhere.
All right. I'm going to modify the father's visits to unsupervised by the department, but supervised by his sister in his home, that he shares with his sister at the same frequency that he currently has visits at the defects office. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
And mom can the problem is I want you to have your visits without Terry there, and I don't know how we can make sure Terry's not there. Other than Ms. Brownlee having to come by and snoop every time you have a visit, it's just kind of hard for her to do. I don't know why. Is this your significant other in life?
No, that's just my baby father.
Judge,
He helps me out with watching my daughter and stuff,
Yeah,
as far as like working and like if I have a doctor's appointment or like, taking her to the doctors, things of that nature. Him and Jasmine is who is together. I don't have nothing.
Listen, the reason I'm asking that is if somebody who is in a either quasi or committed relationship would be willing to assist you, and I don't understand his unwillingness to drug test and do whatever it is to help speed this up. And it concerns me that maybe there are other issues that might make him a further impediment to you getting your kid back. And I know
Judge,
people occasionally who say it's not my concern and I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not going to take a drug test. We have people who say you can't even come in our house to make sure we've got electricity on. Somebody started to interrupt me. What did you want? I don't know who it was.
I'm sure it was myself, Judge. I apologize. I was just going to say in her behalf, if I understand the court's concern, and as she said, Jasmine and Mr. Terry are the ones who are together. But if it's her intent to move within the month, if the court can allow the expanded visit so that she has more days than she has right now, or at least more hours, because the visits are 4 hours, 2 days, 1 week, and then 1 day the next week. So if we can at least expand the days to maybe to 6 to 8 hours for the day visits. And then once she moves and the department has an opportunity to look at the home, that at that point she can have at least one night, one weekend overnight visit.
I'm sorry, but her visits are not 4 hours. Her visits are from 9 to 4 p.m. She picks Christians up from daycare at 9 a.m.
Okay. Okay, I have the time wrong.
It's 7 hours. I don't know how you could keep a 3.5-year-old occupied even half that time, to be honest with you. But
well, it's Judge, it's supposed to be parenting time, so
that doesn't mean sleeping and taking a nap like I would try to do.
Trust me, he doesn't.
I know the kid doesn't, but I bet you want to. You're tired.
I can't. I gotta
raising another child. How old is your other child?
8 months.
Yeah, so you're dog tired 24/7. Well, we don't need to expand the visit if it's already 7 hours long. That's enough. And she gets that every week 1 day and every other week 2 days.
Correct. That's what you ordered, Judge. She needs to order every other Tuesday, and then she gets to every Friday.
We're going to leave it like that, and as soon as she gets her place, and Mr. Terry is out of the picture, and you've cleared the house for any hazards or anything, then she can have it overnight at the new place.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Y'all take care. Keep up the good work, Mr. Murray. You do the same. And we're going to get you over to overnight too.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you to the foster parents too. Thank y'all.
All right, we'll conclude the hearing. Thank y'all.